Hi, and welcome to More Human, More Resources, the HR podcast for entrepreneurs. I'm Vicki Brown, your host and CEO of Idomeneo Enterprises. As a serial entrepreneur, I understand that having the right expert help has been critical to my success. That's why I'm dedicated to telling you, in plain language, what's going on in the world of HR that might impact your business and what you need to do about it, with real actionable tips to help you master that list of must-dos and grow your leadership muscle. First things first, the information contained in this podcast is provided for general purposes only and is not to be considered legal advice. Your decision to adopt or not adopt any practice or procedure mentioned in this podcast is solely yours, and we bear no responsibility for the outcome. We urge you to always consult legal counsel and other appropriate licensed professionals. And with that, let's get into the show. You're listening to Season 4, Episode 6. So, did you hear? It's the holidays. Okay, I'm sure we all know it's the holiday season, but for some reason, it still feels like it snuck up on me. Wasn't it just summer? It feels like you blink, and suddenly it's all there, wrapping up the year, planning for the new year, trying to navigate around holidays and vacation schedules, every client finishing up last-minute tasks before they close down for 1 or 2 weeks. And then there's the personal responsibilities. Gifts, parties, hosting and attending, family. It can seem endless, and it all gets crammed into the last month of the year. Yes, it's hectic, but is it leaving you feeling completely overwhelmed, like you have too many things to do every day and delegating just isn't cutting it? So I'm going to say, take a minute, take a breath, and reflect for a second. Are you busy or are you just in chaos? You know, they can feel very much the same, but while busy is just tiring, chaos feels all-consuming and endless. But I have a couple of tips for you, tips that'll hopefully help you get back in front of the wave. First, take a moment to write down the tasks that you have to do. Yes, you do have time. You simply have to take it. And remember, doing this process will actually help you get through everything. You see, writing everything down frees your brain from that running task list you've been keeping. Our brains weren't built for that. They're best at creativity, but not holding lists of items. And while you're burning valuable brain power trying to remember the things that keep slipping off the list, well, you're losing energy and stamina that you could put toward the actual doing of the thing. So, write the list, review it, and put everything in order. And not just your usual old order of whatever came to mind first goes first. No, think about using a tool like the Eisenhower matrix. To use the matrix, you first divide a square into 4 quadrants, with important and non-important on the y-axis, and the urgent and non-urgent on the x-axis. Now, I know some people need a visual cue. I know I do. So I'll also put a link in the show notes to help you along. Now, put your tasks in the appropriate box. For instance, if something is important and urgent, then do it right now. But if something is urgent but not important, you should definitely delegate it to someone, or in this age of AI, something else. The things that are important but aren't urgent should land on your calendar as a future task, because it does have to get done. It just doesn't have to get done right now. And having that cluttering up your brain today, well, that's pointless. Let's tackle it in a more measured way. Plan it out, and then you can comfortably take care of that later. And finally, the things that are neither urgent nor important, well, they should just be eliminated. That's right, delete them. They're just distractions and unnecessary tasks. Why even think of wasting your time doing things that have no importance and no urgency? Okay, now you should be left with only things that are important and urgent. Remember, we're going to take care of them right now. And things that are important but not urgent. Those are the things that you'll schedule for later. See, we actually got rid of 2 quadrants. The urgent but not important got delegated, and the not urgent / not important, well, they got eliminated altogether. Voila! When you practice this exercise, you'll find that clearing out the chaos clutter is like cleaning out the smoke. You can finally see things for what they really are, and then you can be clear-eyed when you determine if and how much of your brain power they should take. Next, you have to use good tools and use them well. Things like project management and organization tools. Now, as you may know, I use Asana, but there are a lot of them out there. Monday, Notion, Trello, ClickUp, etc. Just be sure to use whatever tool is the most comfortable for you and one that you'll actually use consistently. Because if you aren't consistent in using it, then the application won't be helpful at all. And don't forget mindset. I've said all this before on this podcast and to myself constantly. You don't have to do everything. Everything doesn't have to fall on your shoulders. The planet doesn't have to spin on your axis. Ask for help, and when you do, actually use it. Don't get yourself locked into feeling that you're alone and it's all falling to you. Remember that quote? Many hands make light work. And carefully guard what does and doesn't merit your attention. Do not, I say do not, waste time worrying about things that are outside your control or that don't impact you or just random. That's all clutter, and we're trying to get rid of the mind clutter, remember? And finally, keep your long-term vision in mind. That's your North Star. Don't sweat or even dwell on the small stuff. Anything that doesn't move you forward in the direction of your vision, well, it shouldn't be on the field of play at all. If you found this information helpful, please leave a review and tell a friend. Thanks for spending the time. Until next week, same time, same place.